Well, as you would have seen there just now, Jehue Gordon of Trinidad and Tobago coming in a, certainly not spectacular last place out of the 8 racers in the men's 400-meter hurdles at the Rio Olympics. And joining me this morning via Skype is my colleague Ken Fuentes, who is our athletics specialist. Ken, good morning.
Good morning, Nasira. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, Kent, certainly not the result that we were looking for.
No, it's certainly not the result we were looking for. I was hoping actually for a lot better from Jehue, but as we know, he has been suffering from injuries for a period of time now. I don't know if that may have played into what we just saw happen.
He literally slowed down probably maybe 50, 60 meters from the finish line, and it looked like he was all out of steam and gas just before he got there. What do you think, apart from the injury?
Coming around the final, then he may have been with a chance, and then he just started to fade, which to me was a bit surprising. But then again, we don't know what is actually happening with Jehue. As mentioned before, the injuries coming into leading up to the Olympic Games. To me, that may have played a big part in the result we just saw.
But do you think that, something should have been said, like a preempt to say, okay, he's going into the race, maybe not 100% fit, etc., so that the Trinidadian public would not have this type of reaction that you and I are having now?
Athletics, like any sport, you don't want to give your opponents an edge. So you don't want to tell the world that, hey, look, I'm injured. And a lot of athletes, especially at the Olympic Games, you don't want to make any excuses in probably the biggest race of your life.
And where do we go forth from here now in terms of athletics, in terms of hurdles?
I think we have to do some serious introspection, look back at where we went wrong, where we could improve, what we can do, especially in terms of development as well. Because for now, especially amongst the 100 meters men, there are not many coming through that could really take over from the likes of Richard Thompson, Keston Bledman, Ronald Cirillo, Mark Burns, who have represented us well for the last 12 years or so.
Now, Kent, last night you would have seen Usain Bolt become the first man, to win 3 consecutive gold medals. What are your thoughts on how he ran?
Justin, who? First of all, I know to be from over the years. The guy. He is a performer. He gets the job done when needs to get it done. And last night we saw that 9.80, not really his fastest time in our Olympic final, but still getting the job done. A bad start and still won the race comfortably in the end.
And what do you think? Did you see the women's 200-meter heat this morning?
I saw this morning, and I was pretty impressed with Michelle Diahi. I think she has the 4th fastest time, 4th or 5th fastest time heading into the next round. She looked pretty comfortable, and I think she is really the future of women's athletics in Trinidad and Tobago. What I like about her in this Olympic Games, she looks comfortable. She looks, at ease in her races. Even at the start, and you see it in her races coming down to the end and even after.
Now, Grace Jackson, who commentates for the ESPN broadcasting that we pick up here in Trinidad, she was saying that, she's just stepped off the gas probably maybe 20 meters before the finish line, and she literally, you can almost see her walking across. But who do you think would be her biggest challenger in the women's 200 meters?
You can't forget the Olympic champion, Elaine Thompson. You can't forget Daphne Schiffers, who's the world champion heading into this Olympic Games. You can't count them out. It's too early to make any to make a guess for us to say who would win. But Michelle, like anybody else, is in with a chance. And again, the Olympic Games to me always tends to throw up that one upset. And who knows? Probably this could be Michelle's race.
Now, the women also have their hurdle events later today, as well as Mikel Thomas in the 110 meters. I know you've had conversations with them leading up to their departure to Rio. What do you think, are their chances of qualifying for the semifinals? Because certainly they're going to have to pick up where Jehue left off.
Mikel is now coming off a Pan American Games silver medal, and I think he, more than anybody else of the 3 that are going into action later on today, has a really good chance of advancing. Janelle Belil and Sparkle McKnight, again, I think their chances are pretty good as well. They have shown at the national championship that they could put Trinidad and Tobago on the map in 400 hurdles. You have to remember, too, that we once had Josan Lucas, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was a world championship bronze medalist. So we do have a bit of a history in the women's 400 hurdles. So I'm expecting big things from both Parker McKnight and Janelle Believe as well.
Now, just going back to the women's 200 meters this morning, we saw the legend Veronica Campbell-Brown running, and what certainly looks like is possibly her last Olympics. And she had a little bit of a crisscross in terms of she changed lanes by accident and ran into another competitor's lane. What do you think of her performance and how she ended, Rio Olympics? Because I guess she would run in the relay races for Jamaica.
It's unfortunate to see someone who has done so much for athletics in Jamaica and the Caribbean, putting the Caribbean on the map. You have to remember, too, she was on the map before the likes of Shelley Fraser Price and now Elaine Thompson. So it's really sad to see her go out this week, because to me, she has been one of the pioneers in terms of women track and field in the Caribbean. And it would have been nice to see her get through to the second round, but time, I guess, catches up with everybody.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning, Kent. And, we'll certainly have more coverage on athletics and everything else that's Rio 2016 Olympics right here on CTV and Talk City 91.1. So join us throughout the day for updates. Remember, follow us on Twitter at C Sports Live, as well as on Facebook, C Sports Live, and you'll get all your updates, photos, videos, etc. So stay tuned.